Welcome back to Darshan channel. So today in this video we are going to discuss stock function. So let's start with the first slide. First slide we will try to understand what the main purpose of stock function is, what is the aim of stock function. So its main purpose is to define negation. Another new logical function was introduced by Schaeffer. So this was given by Schaeffer in 1930 and it is called stock function. So it was introduced in 1930, given by Schaeffer, and it is called stock function. So the primary aim of stock function was to define negative function. जो आपका negative function है, जो primary aim था वो negation को define करने के लिए था. But later on all logical functions were also reduced into single stock function, meaning that जो आपका dot हो गया, wedge हो गया, negation try bar हो गया, horseshoe हो गया, that were also defined in stock. इसका symbolize है, stock function का symbolize इससे करते हैं, and it will be true only in one condition, if and only if at least one of its component is false. अगर एक भी उसका component false आता है, in that case it will be true. Now let's see the truth table. So table में we have P, we have Q and then P stroke Q. So we have P, Q and P stroke Q. So again T, T, F, F, जैसे हम लोग अभी normal table बनाते हैं, T, F, T, F. Now remember this condition. It will be true only in the condition when one of its component is false. यहाँ पे false है, यहाँ पे false है, यहाँ पे false है. So in that case it will be true. जब आपका दोनों component true है, उस case में false है. So this is the truth table. Now let's move to the important part where the formulas are given. So in this case we have almost 5 conditions. So let's start with the first one. जब भी आपका कोई negation, so because the primary aim was to define negation into stock, right? So P, negation of P is defined as P stroke P. P dot Q is defined as PQ stroke PQ. So PQ stroke and then PQ, P stroke Q. P wedge Q is again defined as P stroke P stroke Q stroke Q. Now we have horseshoe. Horseshoe आपका है P stroke Q stroke Q. And in case of P tri bar Q, we have a lengthy one. It is P stroke Q stroke Q stroke Q, P stroke P, P stroke Q stroke Q stroke P stroke Q, P stroke P. So it's quite lengthy. But again now let's see कि इन सबको कैसे formula कैसे derive हुआ. ठीक है, because let's say this one is easy to remember, but if you move to the try bar it's quite lengthy. So let's see कि इसका easy क्या तरीका है, how can we learn or memorize it. So let's start with the first one, negation. So see, negation P can also be written as negation P wedge negation P. By using tautology we can do that. And we know जब भी आपका negation है तो उसको हम लोग P स्टॉक P में डिफाइन करते हैं. सो यहाँ पे एक P है, यहाँ पे एक P है, सो इसको हमने P स्ट्रोक P ले लिया. सो ऐसे आपका डेफिनेशन आ गया. नेगेशन P को हम लोग कैसे लिखेंगे, विल जस्ट राइट P स्ट्रोक P. नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन. नेक्स्ट आपका है P डॉट Q. लेट्स सी P डॉट Q. सो P डॉट Q है. So in case of P dot Q, so we can rewrite this as double negation. We can rewrite this as double negation of P dot Q. So वहाँ पे आपने first double negation use किया. Now let's say if we have double negation, now let's consider this as P. This negation of P. So we have, so if this one is P, so we have negation of P. So before doing that, what we can do is we can actually apply De Morgan here. यहाँ तक के लिए we can apply De Morgan. So it will be negation and यहाँ पे आपका आ जाएगा negation of P wedge negation of Q. So we have used De Morgan here. And after using De Morgan, now we can see that यहाँ पे आपका negation P wedge negation Q है. सो नेगेशन पी को हमने पी लिख दिया, स्ट्रोक नेगेशन क्यू को आपने क्यू लिख दिया। ठीक है, जैसे हमने पहले इस केस में किया था नेगेशन पी वेज, नेगेशन पी आने पे सो पी स्ट्रोक पी हमने किया था। सिमिलरली वी हैव डन द सेम थिंग। यहाँ पे क्यू है तो हमने यहाँ पे क्यू लिखा। नाउ अगेन नेगेशन ऑफ पी स्ट्रोक क्यू है आपका, मीनिंग दैट यू आर गोइंग टू राइट इट 2 टाइम्स। अगेन दैट वाज द केस, नेगेशन पी होता है तो पी स्ट्रोक पी लिखते थे। सो यहाँ पे इफ दिस इज नेगेशन एंड दिस होल इज पी, सो इट विल बी p stroke q and then again stroke p stroke q. So again if you see, this is the formula which we get. So p dot आपके पास q है, so उस केस में you get p stroke q and then again bigger stroke and then p stroke q. Now in the third case we have p wedge q. Now in case of p wedge q, what we'll be doing is we'll be using negation of p wedge negation q. So we have used double negation over here. So again we know यहाँ पे we have wedge and then we have p and then q and इसके बाहर negation. So what we can do is we can simply write negation p है तो आपने p लिख दिया, स्ट्रोक यहाँ पे भी अगेन नेगेशन q है तो नेगेशन q. Now moving to the next part, what we can do is we already know the formula negation p के लिए we have p stroke p. So simply आप लिखोगे p stroke p stroke and then q stroke q. So again you have your. Now let's see the next condition, fourth condition, p horseshoe q है आपके पास, meaning that p negation of p wedge q कर सकते हैं by using implication p horseshoe q को. उसके बाद what we can do is negation p wedge double negation of q, यहाँ पे double negation आ जाएगा and then negation p wedge negation q आपके पास है, that means आपके पास आ जाता है p wedge negation of q, sorry not wedge, p stroke negation of q. So negation of q आने के बाद p को as it is q के जगह q stroke q लिखेंगे, 2 बार q लिखेंगे and then your final answer is here. तो यही आपका फॉर्मूला से आ रहा है. नाउ लेट्स सी द दिस ट्राई बार का कंडीशन. ट्राई बार में व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन यूज़ द फॉर्मूला अगेन. p ट्राई बार q का फॉर्मूला है p horseshoe q dot q horseshoe p. So this is the formula. So if we go according to this formula तो आपके पास p horseshoe q है, तो p horseshoe q का again डायरेक्ट में लिख रही हूँ. So it will be p stroke q stroke q and then this is the first part dot, again इसमें आपका q पहले आ जाएगा, q stroke p and then बीच में dot है. Now again we have to remember the dot condition, so we'll be taking this whole as p and this as q. So आपका आता है p stroke q stroke p stroke q. So what will you do is you'll write the whole thing, that is p stroke q and then p stroke the whole q part, q stroke p and then again we'll be repeating it, because if you remember the formula p dot q का formula is p stroke q stroke p stroke q. So इसको 2 बार लिखेंगे, सेम चीज़ p stroke q and then again q stroke p stroke p. So let's check the formula. So check the formula, same आपका आ रहा है formula and then same. So again यहाँ पे if you can remember the half part also, that will also work, but again this is the method, जिस method से आप formula derive कर सकते हैं. Now let's see some questions. Let's start with the first question. First question is negation p dot q. So negation p dot q में, so what we will be doing is we'll be considering this as p and this as q. So if this is p and this is q, p dot q का formula is p stroke q stroke p stroke q. So let's apply the formula here. So the formula is negation. So because we have negation p here, negation p q and then bracket stroke negation of P stroke Q. Now P, negation P के लिए again the formula is P stroke P. So आप apply करोगे, so it will be P stroke P stroke Q stroke P stroke P stroke Q. So this is the final answer. So again these questions are very easy. So again दो steps में आपका answer बन गया. Let's move to the next question. Next question we have P horseshoe Q. Now again P horseshoe Q, दोनों जगह horseshoe का formula use होगा. So let's see the formula first. So formula is P horseshoe Q, that is P stroke Q stroke Q. So this is the formula. Now in case of P horseshoe Q, so let's take this as P and this as Q. So simply write P horseshoe Q stroke R. R यहाँ पे Q है, so दो बार लिखना है. So R stroke R. Now again यहाँ पे P horseshoe Q है, so same formula will be applicable here. So it's P horseshoe Q horse stroke and then R stroke R. So this is your final answer. So दो steps में आपका answer हो रहा है. Let's see another question. Again we have negation P wedge Q dot Q. So again इसमें wedge का भी formula है, dot का भी formula है. So what we'll be doing is we'll just write the formula first. P dot Q का formula. So that is P stroke Q stroke P stroke Q. So this is just for the rough work. So again let's take this as P and this as Q. So again you'll simply write negation P wedge Q stroke Q. So this whole as P and then Q stroke again this as P, that is negation of P wedge Q stroke Q. So again wedge का formula एक बार लिख लेते हैं. P wedge Q का formula है P stroke Q stroke Q. So इस केस में P Q की जगह आप लगेगा negation P stroke negation P stroke and then you'll write Q दो बार and then again this Q, again the same negation P stroke negation P stroke Q stroke Q stroke Q. Again just be very careful while writing Q's and negation P's and all. कभी कभी आपका Q एक छूट जाता तो पूरा आंसर आपका गलत हो सकता है. So just be mindful of that. And negation P has, so you'll write negation P के लिए P stroke P stroke P, and then you have Q stroke Q, and again the same thing here also P stroke P आपका आ गया, and then again P stroke Q stroke Q stroke Q. So this will be your final answer. P यहाँ पे दो P आ गया and again you have two Q's over here and ये आपका एक और Q है and the same thing is repeated here P P Q Q and Q. So ऐसे आपको solve करना है questions. I hope it's clear. If you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section, and if you want me to teach any other topic, please mention it in the comment box. Thank you so much for listening.